Hey friends, it's Alysa Rushton here, helping you create magic and miracles every single day. And this is your January 2021 energy update. Well, welcome to January. I'm sure that you're probably breathing a sigh of relief, and you're also sort of wondering what is going to come next. So this year, I first want to talk about the main energy that we have for the universe, for the planet. It's a 5-number year, a universal 5-number year, and 5 has the energy of freedom, transformation, and really rapid change. 5 also carries the energy of overindulgence, of checking out through drugs, alcohol, gaming, and other such various online activities. So there's a spectrum of energy. And if 2020 taught you anything, it has taught you that there is that rainbow spectrum of energy where there's not necessarily it's not just one thing. Energy runs the gamut. So when we think about the 5 energy, yes, it can be freedom, it can be change, it can be transformation. It can also very much be the opposite of that. When we hold an energy, when we hold a coin, we always pick up both sides of that coin. So knowing that that's going to be the energy for next year, many of you will be drawn into situations where you will want to create more freedom for yourself. You'll want to create more alignment, more transformation and change. And you might not know what that is right now. And we're going to get into that next energy that's really present for this month in just a moment. But the number 5 universal year, with its transformation and rapid fire changes, can also come some changes in your personal chart. So when you think about your personal numerology for next year, and I'll pop a link below this video so that you can look up what your personal year is. Oftentimes we can look at what number our personal year is and know where most significantly we're going to have a lot of changes for our personal self. So for example, for somebody who's got an 8 personal year, 8's all about the financial aspects of their life in abundance. So they might have an extraordinary amount of change or freedom or transformation around their finances. So it's nice to know where you're going to be experiencing a lot of this change and transformation in your personal life path as well. So when we think about this energy, this 5 energy for the year, we also want to remember that we are in this sign of Aquarius right now. We're in this Aquarian age. And so that is very much an air sign. And you're going to see an extreme amount of change, rapid fire change around technology. So for those of you who have businesses, you really do want to be thinking and planning about sort of what end of the spectrum do you want to be on? Do you want to be leading some of the change around technology and how that's going to look on our planet? Do you want to be engaging in some of the most latest and greatest technological upgrades? Or are you the business person that's really sitting with right now, thinking about how we can have a renaissance? Are you thinking about how can we do it differently? For example, you might be of the inclination that picking up a book is an amazing thing because this incredible technology, it's always there for you. It's always going to house the information. It's never not online. And so you might be going back to this more Renaissancean way of doing things. You might feel called to put your hands in the dirt more often, especially with regards to your business. You might feel like you need to get your body really moving. So with this next year, there's going to be sort of these push-pull energies when it comes to freedom, of more grounded, earth-based, connection-based freedoms, or more air-based, technology-based freedoms. For example, something that's happening on the planet is that the Tesla cars you're going to be able to do self-driving cars probably by mid-2021. And Elon Musk is working out a way to have those carpool. So you could use your car while not driving it and have it be an Uber. And you could set your coordinates and have an Uber your Tesla over to pick up the people, get money all while you're sitting at home or maybe playing with the kids or maybe out paddleboarding. Who knows what you're doing? So there's this aspect of this next year where you'll be asked to think about and even make some decisions around where you want to be on the technology spectrum. And so for those of you right now who are feeling this in your physical body, and you've been feeling for a while now, being called into a different way of doing something, this is sort of your preparatory time, this time right now in January. So let's dive into the energies for the January, now that you sort of know the setup for the whole year, which is change, transformation, really rapid fire change, and then also having that need for some people to check out through other means. 5 is a very physical number. 5 is all about sensuality and feeling amazing in your body. And so you might also feel called to do some body upgrades as well through this time. I'm personally doing a cleanse right now. You might decide to change your way of eating. So this is a time where you're really being asked to change parts of yourself, your body vehicle, how you're doing your business, how you're even thinking about doing your business and your way of life. It's really being called into question right now. The first energy is really releasing this old identity and being in the incubator of creating the new identity. Its identity's not yet formed. The next energy for this month is the release or crumble of ego projects. We've got heart expansion through finances and financial shifts and change. So let's start with energy number 1. These new identities not yet emerged. In 2020, it was that time where we got to see the dark and the light. We got to see our shadows. So many of you did amazing shadow work last year. And that means that you got to see more of yourself than you ever have seen before. And when we do that, there's something that happens in your physical body where a new identity is actually being formed. You're stripping away the old parts of you that didn't work anyways, the old beliefs, the old relationships, the old ways of being. All of that stuff is kind of melted away, or you might be in the process of melting that away still. And in January, you might feel like you're in the incubator. You might feel as if you don't have any clear sight or vision about what is coming next. And that's really okay. That's the energy for right now, this month in January. There's this identity that wants to come in, but you had to clear out enough of who you were before in order to even find a place where you can start to recalibrate. So between this week and the next week, it's sort of this recalibration time, and even the first week of January. If you can, get plenty of hydration, get plenty of rest, allow meditation time. This is a time to go in within yourself, go in deep, and start asking yourself questions like, who do I really enjoy being? How do I really enjoy doing work in the world? What is my soul longing for? These are questions that will help you sort of ferret out where you're going next. And it's okay not to have clear vision right now. In fact, one of the things that is super exciting about this time, if that's you, if for the first time you're fuzzy and you have no idea what's coming next, that's amazing. Because if you knew what was coming next, it would just mean that you were regurgitating the old. So one of the most important things to do when we're creating something new is not knowing how to do it. Because if we knew how to do it, it would just be dragging our past along with us. So let yourself be in this space. Allow yourself that chance to be inspired. Get out for walks, get out in nature as much as you can. Even in the middle of winter, I've had friends from all over the world tell me that they're getting out in nature and despite the conditions. They're doing what it takes to just be outside. And so connecting back in with the planet is a beautiful way to get the downloads, to get the information, to get the inspiration that you need in order to really align yourself with your highest path. Again, with the energies of this next year, I like to think of energy as a spectrum, and I don't like to think of it as good or bad. I like to think of this as a preference-based universe. So if you prefer to be doing your business online or be doing your world online and have that connection be like that for you, amazing. And if you're the kind of person that thinks, oh my gosh, I need to go and build a retreat center, I need to bring people together, I need to be creating community and connection, do that. It's really about your preferences and knowing what those truly are, and then honoring those preferences as you do your daily work in the world. And this month can feel a little wonky because that new identity is still settling in. In fact, many of you still don't even know fully what that identity looks like. When it comes to creating a new identity, one of the things that you will find really beneficial is allowing yourself to be more flexible and open with your beliefs. This is a time of new beliefs installing. And so the more open you can be, the more you can have a mind that's open to everything and closed to nothing, as Wayne Dyer would say, is a beautiful thing because it allows you access. It's really hard to create miracles or be in the magic if you don't believe that it can happen. It's really hard to see something instantly transform in your world if you don't believe that you can transform something overnight. So allow yourself the space for new beliefs, new frameworks to be installed in your body. And you do that best by setting your energy to say, I really allow myself to have an open, flexible belief system. And two, by giving yourself that meditational space. You're going to see a lot of interesting changes and shifts that come. And, when we see this many changes and shifts, it can feel overwhelming. And if you feel your body or your nervous system go, that's just letting you know that you can open up your belief structure even more, and that you can do some things for your physical body to help it get back on track. Many of you have felt very pummeled this last year. I call 2020 the great pummeling, and our adrenals really took a beat up. Our kidneys and our physical structures took a beat up. So whatever you can do to bring your physical body back online, and you already know what that is. You've been getting insights and inspirations and intuitions, remembering again with that open belief system that what was once good for you may not be good for you anymore. And what's really good for these people over here may not be good for you at all. So really taking into account your individual body's needs, your individual spirit's needs, and taking into account how you fluctuate with energy throughout the month. Many of you are remembering that you are super attuned to moon cycles and sun cycles and lunations and transits and all of the universe, because if you think about how connected we are in the macro and the micro, and that how fast energy is, we've proven it in a quantum reactor, that literally things can be miles apart, but experiencing energy at the very same time, faster than the speed of light. So it explains why, quantum physics explains why that a planetary fluctuation could be impacting to your energetic system. We haven't really understood that in the past, but now we can kind of understand that because of how quantum physics works, that you can be impacted instantly, even something that's light years away. So now's the time to allow yourself to have more open beliefs, be more flexible with what you want to believe, and really looking back to go, okay, I've always had this belief. Do I even want to keep it? Is it something that is relevant for me anymore? For example, you may have always thought, well, I want to be an online business owner, but all you can think about doing now is just being a retreat host, or maybe a paddleboard guide, or a dolphin instructor or something else. I don't know if a dolphin instructor is anything, but you can see where I'm going. You might want to be a sustainable farmer or somebody who makes beautiful art. So think about, was it true for you then? Great. Is it still true for you now? Is it something that you want to keep perpetuating into these next several years? We are going to have a very interesting next, really into 2026 timeframe of a lot of change, a lot of transformation, and a lot of shifting. And you get to decide what timeline you're on. You get to decide what you get to experience, and you get to decide your preferences through it all. Okay, next, it's the energy of releasing those ego projects or the crumble of ego projects. So if you're on this journey, one of the things that you really went through this last year is that release of more of the egos driving your world. We've been in a cycle of egoic structures, hierarchical structures, and egoic structures driving the world for the last 2,000 years. And we're in the very nitsy bitsy beginnings of releasing out of that. So, if you think about how business works, for example, small business, mid-sized business, and big business is usually the last one that's affected by anything because they've got so much structure in place that it's hard to rattle that business. Or think about it, for example, think about a huge big box store and an earthquake comes along versus a very small house that was built in the 1920s. Well, the concrete structure that was newly formed and has all the advanced earthquake stuff is going to survive a lot easier because it's bigger, it's structurally sound, more sound than the 1920s house. So think about this as it relates to yourself and how it's going to go down with the world is that when we are in a new energy, you're going to experience it first, you lucky thing. And you're going to experience the energy of those ego-driven projects that are simply on your mind because there's something that your ego wanted. There's some fame or fortune or notoriety or whatever those ego desires are. And it was a project that was born out of that energy. Now, it's not to say that you won't still do the same projects, but you'll do them from a different energy. Okay. And it's the energy that we do everything from. It's our come from, our energetic come from that actually makes or breaks the project and makes it fun or feel hard. And so these ego-based projects you might see unravel a bit, but then rewind themselves up. So if that's happening to you, or if you're feeling like there's some projects that you had on your hands that just are not working anymore, that's okay. Allow yourself to let it go, watch it crumble, or just consciously let it go away before it has to crumble. And then let yourself rework it if it's ready to be reworked from a different energetic, from an energetic of being of service, from giving from the heart, from really doing your soul's path, as opposed to, I need these things because I'm trying to fill myself up in some way, or I need these things because I don't have something. It's a really different energetic come from. And realize that this is going to be happening to all of the people. It's just that it happens to the most conscious first. It happens to the people that are the most available for the change. So back to the earthquake analogy, they're most available for the change, that smaller structure. And so that's what's happening right now is you're going to see that change first, but you will also start to see it roll up. You'll have a roll up effect, and you'll start to really notice that these ego-based projects or things that are really not good for other human beings are starting to unravel and uncrumble and unwind themselves so that we can rebuild. And that's going to be a lot of what this year is about, is the crumbling or unraveling from that. And that leads us into the heart opening through finances and also structures. So, this year in America, we have a political switchover, although that will be very interesting to see what happens there. But when that switchover starts to happen towards the end of the month, and it might not even happen on the day that we plan on it happening. So you want to just be mindful of that there may be some financial things in your life and in the global life that are getting restructured in order for us to have a different experience and a heart opening. Part of the reason why we're going through this is because we've got to start acting as more heart-opened human beings. And can you imagine if we did? If everyone started acting as a heart-opened human being. So what is happening is we're getting these little energetic experiences, opportunities to operate differently. And I know that when you look back on 2019, you, I'm sure, are a changed person. You, I'm sure, are a transformed human being because of all the things that went down, all the changes, all the ways that you had to do your life differently. And so that's what all of this is designed to do, is to pull the old stuff that wasn't working up and out. And, these things take time. They take time to unwind from old structures and rebuild new. So the financial opening that you might get might be a very personal one. It may be a very global collective one. And you're going to see it start to happen in January and then continue on throughout the year. Now, if that scares you, if there's a part of you that is silently freaking out or maybe openly freaking out, that's okay. One of the things that we want to try and remember is that our financial system, as we know it, has changed hundreds of times over the course of the history of the world. And so it's bound to change again. It's bound to be something that's different. My hope is that we can have enough conscious beings like you on the planet really helping to shift that energy so that our way we do our life and the way we pay for goods or exchange goods actually comes into more of a balance and more into a heart-based structure, into more of a structure that doesn't put people into the mode of overdoing, overachieving, overtaking just to get the money. It's like that's been one of the very most important things on the planet. And so again, it's designed, this next phase is really designed to help shift that back into balance. It's designed to shift things back into cooperation and to be liberating and to have this sort of Renaissanceian period and this brightness period. But it's going to take us, a few years to get through that and to really set ourselves up for something beautiful. So all of that to say, I want you to remind yourself that you are here to help make change on the planet. You are here listening to this video right now because you are on the leading edge of helping this energy shift. And the more you allow the energy to work its way through you and you act as an embodiment of new energy, the more it can actually transcend out and have a ripple effect. What's really being required of us this year is to embody a new way of being, to embody the divine, the God within, the Buddha within, the Christ consciousness, whatever you'd like to call it, but it's to embody this beautiful way of being in alignment with your true self and your I am presence. So that, my love, is the work for this year and this month. I look forward to seeing you next month in our energy report. And if you like these kind of updates and you want even more support, you can check out the portal, the Miracles portal. I'd love to have you inside, where you're going to get lots of energy tools and advanced energy working techniques to help you create magic and miracles every single day. I love you so, so much. Thank you for your presence here on the planet. It is truly a blessing, and I can't wait to talk to you next month. I love you so much, and bye for now.